Yo, what's up, guys? Jay Daniel here. This is Remote Close to Millionaire, episode 26. So, for today's episode, it'll just be some updates. So, I'm just got a cut. I'm about to meet with some photographers for my LinkedIn. This is actually insane. But if you ever speak to a photographer who does like branding, who does like social media stuff, it is the dopest conversation ever, because they understand angles and setting you up and positioning you for a brand. And I never really understood the utility of a photographer. I'm like, if you just it's either you get a photographer or you get an expensive camera. But no, like there's an actual like skill set around like knowing how to move the lens and position things, and I thought it was really dope. But anyway, yeah, so I have a meeting tomorrow to get some headshots taken for my LinkedIn. I parted ways with the offer that I was on previously. By the way, huge learning. I think I mentioned this in another video, but huge learning lesson. Like, you don't want... Not like, obviously, number one, right? Just be super high performance and optimize everything you do. But you don't want to have your income dependent on like one company, one person. You want to establish, as soon as you have an income stream established, you want to systemize that and make sure that's nice and set and structured. And you want to start adding more income streams, right? You want to do that, and you want to maximize the time that you have in a day. So let's say you have 16 hours where you're awake, right? You got to work out, you got to like socialize. So let's say you got 12 hours to work, right? If you got 12 hours to work in the day, once you're working 12 hours, now it becomes, how do you increase the value of the time that you're putting into your work day? And now it's a matter of systemizing outsourcing, right? And being able to basically get leverage to increase that total income without increasing the hours. Because after 12 hours, it's not sustainable, right? It's ridiculous. 8 to 12 hours is a good amount to be like grinding away on like your income. And, the other 2 to 4 hours is like personal time, personal development, right? You gotta do both. But yeah, so a big learning lesson, right, is just constantly increase the value of your time, constantly add systems to take into account the potential bad things that could happen, right? So life is a chess game. You got to think about your income like chess, right? Like, if one move is enough to take all of your income out, you're not protected, right? You're not paranoid enough. Like you're betting, you're too hopeful that things are just going to work out perfectly, right? Think of it like this: the worst case scenario, it's guaranteed to happen at some point. Maybe that point's in 100 years. Maybe it's in the next fucking week. Most likely, it's 6 to 12 months away. So create systems to take that into account. Okay, worst case scenario, I lose my income source. What am I going to do? What do I have in place? Right? Luckily, I got some money saved. This is actually an opportunity for me to work on other things I need to work on. So it's actually a blessing. But if, let's say somebody didn't have any money put away. Let's say somebody didn't have, dude, you're fucked, right? Now you got to borrow money and you got to get into like horrible debt, which I put myself in 2 years ago, right? Like 2 or 3 years ago, did put myself in. I didn't mention it, but I put myself in like bad debt and all this stuff. Cause like I did the same shit. I had one income stream and it wasn't that high. It really wasn't that much money. And, I lost it. And so I kind of fell behind. So there's a big learning lesson. Super excited about what's to come. I've invested in a couple different mentorships. One is just for fucking personal development, getting locked in. I got really comfortable in my role, and the personal development fell by the wayside in terms of like consistency, tracking, being anal. It's actually something they taught us when I was that sales mentor, Taylor Welch. It's like, dude, like, in the morning, right? Like, have your morning formula, do your morning reflection, right? Like, who are you becoming? And let's look at all your numbers. Are you on track to actually become that person? In this program, it's dope because it's $100 a month, like you got all these coaching things that are like 10 grand, 20 grand. And they say, if you pay attention. Like, no, fuck you. I make myself pay attention with my goals. I don't need to fucking pay you a shit ton of money for me to be accountable. I got to fucking look at my goal and say, I'm gonna make this shit happen and create systems around making that happen. So, yeah, really good program for accountability. I'm meeting up, we have group calls every week. It started with a one-on-one call with the influencer. And so I'm signed up there. I'm in another one that just goes into like delegating. So I get a lot of one-on-one time, basically unlimited one-on-one time with my guy Tom. So he's helping me out as well. And the beauty is these are guys that are making six figures, that have those multiple streams of income, that are in my industry, that are a little, 10 years ahead of me, 5 years ahead of me, right? So I'm able to kind of pick things up from them. So I'm super locked in there. Once we're back to like 10 to 20 grand a month and things are really smooth, I'm gonna be kicking off remote paradise. I got some really cool updates as well in that department. But in terms of the big focuses, short term, it's going to be tomorrow I'm getting my LinkedIn headshot. So my LinkedIn and my overall presentation is going to be dope. I want to pick up work in a couple different industries, stuff, in different kind of work too, right? Like not just sales, like content creation, video editing, sales too, but just stuff that I can outsource. This way I can have an assistant take on a lot of the workload. I can cash in, and I can use that extra time to build businesses. I can use that extra time to focus on higher dollar an hour activities. I also want to increase the ticket price of what I'm selling. So traditionally, I've sold products that are anywhere from $5K, $2,500, $2,500 until about $20K. Yeah, $2,000 to $20,000. Has been the price range I've sold in. I had one product that I sold that was like $30K, but besides that, it's been $20K ticket prices. So, anywhere from 5 to 25% commission. Really, basically, 5 to 25% commission, depending on the company. So right now, I'm going to be selling higher ticket stuff. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm just banging out these applications. In terms of what we're doing in the course too, because I want to talk about like the actual like accountability process. Because honestly, this is your foundation for everything, right? And this is what you need to level up. Everything's about tracking. So in the morning, you wake up and you have it scripted out, right? So you have your routine that just helps you become the person you want to be, right? So like look at your goals, right? Look at your goals, right? Get yourself on point, dialed into who you're becoming, and then track. You want to get lean? Okay, cool. How much do we weigh right now? How much did we weigh yesterday? How much did you eat yesterday? What were your macros? What are the macros you agreed on earlier? Did you meet those? Why didn't you meet those, right? What can be done differently today to make sure that you do need those? What systems need to be added to allow this problem to go away long term, right? Income, right? How much income did we make? Is that the income we projected? What needs to be changed, right? What are the things that I need to do that are in my control that I can start implementing to be able to change my income to align with that goal that I have, right? Meeting women, right? Like, what are we doing that's in our power to meet more women, right? What needs to be changed? What needs to be added, right? What can we systemize, add to the routine? Building a brand, social media, right? What are we currently doing? Is that fall in line with what needs to be done to achieve the outcome we want? What needs to be changed? How do we implement that? How can we create a system around that, right? How do we automate that part of the process? How do we fit that within the confines of the time that we have, right? And it's just going through this whole checklist in the morning of what are the goals, what are the actions you took, and do those actions. If you do those actions for another 100 days, 200 days, you're going to get to your goal. If not, what needs to be changed? What caused it to fall off? What are some systems we can implement to strategically get that back on point, right? Doing those two things every single morning. Doing a weekly review every week, looking at everything you've done. Doing a monthly review every month, everything you've done. This is how you can achieve Kaizen. This is, I think it's Japanese. Really, it just means, I think it's Japanese. Really, it just means like getting 1% better every single day. You don't need to hit a home run every single day, right? In terms of calories, you don't need to drop 1,000 calories a day. You're going to lose muscle like that. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot when you try to rush the process. The process is the goal. So if you just focus on the process, your goals are going to take care of themselves, right? A goal isn't something you force. A goal is something that you assemble through getting all the small pieces in place. So that's what I'm doing to dial the fuck in, and in terms of hitting, like, just getting myself dialed in, mentally, physically, spiritually, One thing he also recommends is to do a little prayer in the morning as well. Whatever you believe, right? Like, just talk to God, bro. Like, whatever you believe, just talk to God. I think everybody should have some level of belief in God, just as a foundational principle as a human being, right? God, the creator, the universe, something greater than yourself, which, again, in my opinion, is pretty obvious if you just look at the nature of things and how everything, anyway, it's another conversation. But yeah, and here, for accountability's sake, so I said I want to get to having 10% body fat, under 180 pounds. Currently, I'm 205. I was 215 about a month ago, 2 months ago, when I posted the little reel on my channel. So we are losing some weight, but definitely not tracking, definitely not dialed in like it needs to be. And that was honestly more so just from traveling and not having a shit ton of food readily available. But yeah, things are good. And now I'm thinking of actually, I'm going to be doing a walk every morning, and maybe even these videos could be my way of doing my reflection, keeping myself accountable. So I don't give a shit who watches. These are more for me. This is something I can look back on and use as a way to make sure that I hit these goals. So, yep. Thanks for watching, ? That's my daily reflection. This is episode 26 of Remote Closer to Millionaire. It's not just a shift in income, it's a shift in mindset, it's a shift in identity, and it's a shift in actions. So, stay tuned.